Today we will see the various types of drive system which is available in robotics, and the functions of drive system that we will see in today's lecture. And please someone remind me the things which we have taught in the last class. And Chitta is requested to share the YouTube link. I didn't upload it so far. Probably I'll share the link for the previous classes, and once I have uploaded, I will share through the group as well as in MS Team. I'll share, and I will start the today's session. I request for today's session. I request some people to join with us till the end. I think till Maharajan they have joined so far, I think so. No, I think till yes. For today's class, I request 64, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 72, and 73, 74. Till 74, please join with us. 64 to 74. Please unmute your mic and please join with us till the end. Afsal, I think Afsal is also available. Mohammed Afsal, please unmute your mic. And Archit Naik, Varshita, Nikhil, again Nikhil, Nishark, and Shanmugam, Nirmal. Sorry, till Shanmugam, please join with us. Please unmute your mic and please join with us. Yes, this is what the today's content, that is robot drive system, and the main motive power of robot is in the drives. Various transmitting elements are employed to drive the mechanical links to a desired position and orientation in the envelope of a robot manipulator. And there are several types of robot system are available, and based on which factors we need to consider the drive system which are based on the power consumption, position accuracy, and repeatability, speed of operation, stability, reliability, cost, and many other factors are we need to consider in order to select the appropriate drive system. And some typical examples are see these are the robot. The drive determines its speed of operation, load carrying capacity, and its dynamic performance. And the factors which we need to consider for selecting the drive system are: it should be a low inertia, and it should have a high power to weight ratio. Power should be larger, and weight ratio to be possibly it should be power to weight ratio should be maintained, and the possibility of overload and delivery of impulse tasks has to be considered, and capacity to develop the high acceleration. Uh, it should have a very high acceleration, and the velocity also it should be very high, and the positioning accuracy. We may have some point to place the uh, component, but it should not be appropriately placed. Mean it is very hard to perform the subsequent task. Hence, it should be the positioning accuracy should be very precise. For that, we need to be choose the appropriate drive system, and the good trajectory tracking and positioning system. As per our wish, as per the coding made, the trajectory should be happened. For that also we need to be very conscious with the drive system selection of drive system. It should operate the high degree of freedom and a capacity to withstand high pressure, and the maintenance of gravitational acceleration force has to be considered. And based on these, we need to select the appropriate drive system, and those are and there are three major classification, and one added at the end. The conventional drive system, or we already we were discussed in the last class, that are hydraulic drive system, electric drive system, and pneumatic drive. And recently the way we were using the actuators, and these are some typical example of the drive system. And the features we will see one by one. The various the hydraulic, pneumatic, and electrical system has its unique features, and it has its own drawbacks also, that we'll discuss one by one. And before that, we'll disseminate some videos in order to wake up you all. I think the 10 people not yet joined. Afsal, Afsal, please unmute your mic and please respond. Afsal. Afsal. No. And Archit Naik. Archit Naik.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hello, sir. Yes. What is the current affair, Archit Naik? Tell me the current affairs.
Sir, I don't know.
Okay. Nikhil Nisharg. 73. Nikhil Nisharg. Either Nikhil 72, 73, 74. Please unmute your mic. Nirmal.
Yes, sir.
Nirmal, what is the current affair? Yesterday, I think Prime Minister came to Tamil Nadu and inaugurated various things, and you please share the content for which yesterday Prime Minister came to Tamil Nadu, and please go ahead with that content, or else you may go ahead with your content. What are the things you read? You please share those contents. The morning, even in 10:44 itself, we are all sleeping. No, it should not be. Arshita?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. You share the current affairs, Arshita. What happened, Arshita? Nirmal?
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes, very good morning.
Sir, I'm not known to that affairs and all.
Yes. And this is Nirmal, I think so. Nirmal?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, then please read the current affair. In the tomorrow's class, we'll have a detailed discussion about the happenings. That is yesterday inaugural for various things that we'll discuss in detail in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, are you ready to reveal the things which for which Prime Minister came to Tamil Nadu?
Sir, he inaugurated the phase 1 trial of the metro.
Yes, very good. Nikhil, go ahead, Nikhil. Nikhil, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, I only know this, that he inaugurated the phase 1 trial of the metro. Then in Kerala, he inaugurated some port, and then Tesla is setting a manufacturing plant in Karnataka. That's all.
And so the world's richest man is giving $100 million to the person who can suggest him the methods for carbon control.
You make a little detailed note, Abhishek.
Recently, Elon Musk tweeted that the person or a group who can suggest him the methods for controlling the increase of carbon content in the atmosphere of the world. He will give the person $100 billion and give him extension to provide some help for the methods which is giving to the world for control of the carbon content in the world.
Who tweeted? Who tweeted?
The Elon Musk tweeted so recently.
Elon Musk.
Yes, sir.
Those who are giving a very good idea to increase the carbon content, they may get $100
million.
$1 billion.
Millions, mm.
Million.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. That is nice. That is nice. Yes. Yes, very good. Yes, I think so. For today's lecture, this is far enough. I think so. If it is feasible, again we'll come back to Abhishek to make a detailed note about it. And Nirmal, you please read a lot. And Nikhil, you may also please give your participation in the tomorrow's lecture. And once we are very the content is very boring, at that time we again will have a visit over the current affairs, but it won't be there. I think so it won't be there. We have some videos, and once the videos are over, then we'll go to the drive system and see some videos related to the drive system and the arm robotic arm and all. Yes, we'll start on this. Yes, it is audible. It is audible.
So play for a while, sir. No, sir.
Yes. No.
No, sir. I guess it's not audible.
No, sir.
Wait.
Starting a business now.
Yes, now?
Yes, sir. It's audible.
Yes, sir, it was audible.
Yes.
See, everyone has great ideas, but sometimes it takes a lot of repetitive work to realize them. This is where DoBot M1 gets in. DoBot M1 is an industrial-level robotic arm production platform. It's precise, fast, and extendable, and also affordable. It can be your 3D printer, laser engraver, soldering machine, or whatever else you build upon it. Yes, you can build one. DoBot M1 has 0.02 millimeters repeatability and 1.5 kilogram payload.
Then what does mean by repeatability? I'm showing 1 second.
With
And see.
these standardized, easy-to-change heads, you can easily this power into activity. Like 3D printing, it can print your product with fluency and details. 2 colors? No problem. Or use laser to engrave your unfading masterpiece. Or do sophisticated soldering, customizing your PCB circuit board better than a pro. Besides being multifunctional, DoBot M1 is also easy to master and develop. DoBot M1 supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection. You can connect to multiple arms at once and control them via our app on PC or smartphone. With a force-sensitive 3D mouse, you can control DoBot M1 as precisely as you want. No more trying and guessing on a confusing software. With its handhold teaching feature, you can input coordinates in the fastest and most intuitive way. DoBot M1 is programmable via the integrated APIs. You can use official or self-built developing environment, or use this visualized programming interface, making things a lot easier. But we don't stop here. DoBot M1 is highly extendable. There are no limits to your imagination on it. The maximum reach of DoBot M1 is 400 millimeters, which is enough for most of the situations. But why don't we think bigger, when it can actually go further? Or use a camera for visual. With its fast and accurate image recognizing algorithm, it can distinguish colors without making one mistake. DoBot M1 loves companions. They can work seamlessly together, processing paperwork way faster than humans could. Ultimately, DoBot M1 is built to replace manpower in production line, working day and night non-stop. The built-in mapping and path planning system provides this excellent mobility, providing inventory management service in your warehouse. To be able to create so much value, DoBot M1 has been built with extraordinary performance. The perfect calibration of the high-performance DC servo motor, harmonic reducer, and kinematic algorithm has brought out the best of both strength and speed. Repeatability of 0.02 millimeters. Maximum payload of up to 1.5 kilograms. Angular speed of up to 200 degrees per second. It's also a steady player, never slips up. Everyone loves creating things, and having a robotic arm is awesome. With DoBot M1, it's no longer a giant business's privilege to use professional robotic arms. Everyone can now benefit from a cost-effective, user-friendly robotic arm technology. So when a new idea hits you, DoBot M1 will be ready. All you have to do is say yes.
Industrial robots are too expensive and hard to use. However, they could save you time at home, help you do creative work, or learn new technologies. So why keep these benefits away from you? Meet Nereo One, the first accessible 6-axis robotic arm.
Making the 6-axis robotic arm, how it should be very hard, and or how we can consider that 6 degrees of freedom should be aware and be conscious.
Nereo One is a low-cost and user-friendly robot made out of 3D printing and open source technologies. It was created so everyone can use it. For makers, Nereo One can help you learn robotics and be your perfect coworker. It can easily pick and place many kinds of objects. For example, to automate a 3D printer. Do anything your imagination can create just by easily changing the end effector tool. With Nereo One, reproduce industrial use cases such as drilling or drawing on any surface with any orientation. Nereo One is great for robotics education, for students to learn, but also for children. They can get to know more about new technologies and get some programming basics. So much fun involved. Nereo One will also save you some time in daily life so you can relax and do the things that matter the most. Controlling Nereo One is so easy. You can teach the robot what you want it to do just by moving it with your hands. Want to use a gamepad? Here you go. You can use the mobile and web applications to have more control over the robot and control it from a remote place. Nereo One will be connected to the internet. Oh, and it means you can also get free software upgrades, and you can share programs with your family, friends, and other people around the world. We specially thought about makers and developers by making most of our code open source. STL files for 3D printing will also be released. You will be able to program directly on the robot, with many APIs and the source code. It's a great way to learn robotics and do useful stuff with Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and Robot Operating System.
We are passionate robot makers who want to spread the word with easy-to-use, low-cost, and useful robots.
Time has come for robotics to get out of factories and help people having a better life and a better technology education.
Please back us on Kickstarter to help bringing accessible robots to everyone.
And thank you for your support.
engineering freedom. Third one. Yes.
This is Control, the robot. It has the same DNA as sophisticated $100,000 industrial robot arms, elegantly reduced down to desktop size, and made as affordable as a coffee machine. Now, anyone can own their own robot. Just plug in a laptop and take control. With a full range of articulation through 6 axes, Control's uses are as unlimited as your imagination. From teaching your children to code through play, to clever applications for small business, to science and education uses, Control the robot provides endless opportunities. It works right out of the box, and the completely open source interface means you can control it with your favorite programming language, or simple conversational text commands, or use physical manipulation to teach it repeatable tasks. You can also connect multiple arms to work together. End-of-arm tools are easy to change and will be available for endless uses, including grips, laser engravers, suction pads, spray nozzles, 3D printing and more. With a camera, Control can also find and recognise. All users will be able to write their own applications and share the code globally, creating a database of Control the Robot programs. From creating a miniature factory for your business to raising the next generation of genius inventors, Control the Robot means anyone can now control a robot.
Maximo, the robot arm. Maximo comes with a free robotic studio license that allows you to control the arm and execute precise automations.
Accessible, fun, and affordable, Maximo is great for beginners and experts.
We provide a simple step-by-step guide to help you build Maximo. Easy to put together, accessible, and affordable. Maximo is a great way to discover robotics. The modular heads can be switched within seconds.
My goal was to create a robot available to everyone.
Help us make Maximo a reality and discover robotics with us. Maximo, the robot arm, by InnoTechnics.
See how a robot can be even trying to play the and again come back to the slides which disseminates the robotic drives, and this is what we have seen. And the types of drive system is hydraulic, electric, or electric pneumatic, and in recent days we are using the actuators. And is my slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The hydraulic, will start from hydraulic, and hydraulic drive and the electric drive are the two main types of drives which is usually used in robotic arms, and it is more sophisticated in robots, while pneumatic drives is used for loading load carrying capacity. In case where there is an oil or electricity and it cannot be used because the fire hazard, we need to have a conscious about the fire hazard. And concerning the hydraulic drives is generally associated with large robots, larger robots. The usual advantage of the hydraulic drive system, or that is that it provides the robot with greater speed and strength. And the salient features of hydraulic system, and here the we are using the fluid power instead of the mechanical drive system. We are utilizing the fluid power, therefore it eliminates the need for links like cams and gears, as the medium of power should be fluid and it is not subjected to any breakage of parts as it was in the mechanical transmission system. And the fluid power system, constant force is possible, and the special motion, when the special motion is required, at that time we have to prefer the fluid power system. Whether the output moves a few millimeter or several meters per minute, at that time we can prefer fluid power system. The parts of hydraulic system are lubricated with the hydraulic liquid itself, and the manipulation of small force to achieve greater force for performing tasks can be possible, and accuracy in controlling small or large force with instant reversal is possible with hydraulic system. And it easily provides infinite and stepless variable speed control, which is difficult to obtain from other drives. And the main disadvantage of a fluid power system concern, we need to worry about the maintenance and maintenance of the precision parts. When they try to export to bad climates and dirty atmosphere, it won't work very good. And that's all about the advantage and disadvantage of hydraulic system. And concerning the pneumatic drives, and usually reversed for smaller robot that force fewer degrees of freedom, and the robot of often limited to simple pick and place operation with fast cycles. The added advantage of having the compliant, that is ability to observe some shock during working. And pneumatic power can be readily adapted to the actuation of the piston device to provide translation movement of the sliding joints. It can be used to operate rotary actuators for the rotational joint. And concerning the electrical drives, and we have and in view of the hydraulic system, when we are talking about the hydraulic system, we should have a conscious about the fluids and its properties, and we should aware about Pascal law, Bernoulli's equation, continuity equation. Anyway, we will discuss about it. I think you all have already come across the subject fluid mechanics. And anyone please remind the Pascal law and Bernoulli's equation. Please unmute your mic and please remind the Pascal law and Bernoulli's equation. I think all are sleeping. Please unmute your mic and tell me the Pascal law and Bernoulli's equation.
Sir, Pascal law states that the pressure in fluid is equal in all directions.
Pressure at any point in the liquid.
Any point, yes, sir.
During rest. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And what about the Bernoulli's equation? Sum of the pressure or energy?
Pressure.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, tell me. Sir. I think someone.
Pressure energy will be converted to kinetic or gravitational.
Yes, very good. We need to add one or two more points. Anyway, very good. And similarly, we need to refresh the continuity equation and gas laws. And when we are talking about pneumatic, and there are some things we need to refresh during the hydraulic or pneumatic, that is the pumps which is used to actuate the system, that is whether it may be gear pump or vane pump or piston pump. Usually these three types of pumps are used to actuate the system, and once we are very familiar with this driving system, then we will have a visit over the various pumps which is used to actuate these systems, and all that will talk a little later. And this is what concerning the electrical drives. And the electrical drive system does not generally provide as much speed or power as hydraulic system, and that was the advantage of the hydraulic system, and that might be the disadvantage of the electrical drive system. And however, the accuracy and repeatability of electrical drive system was usually better than the hydraulic system. And the consistently electrical robots tends to be smaller, requiring less floor space, and their application turns towards more precise work such as assembly. In view of the hydraulic system that requires the high floor space, and concerning electrical drive system, it requires only less flow system. And it can be actuated either by stepper motor or a servo motor, and these motors are ideally suited to the actuation of rotational joint through appropriate drive trains and gear system. As I said in the advantage there, and it doesn't have any gear system to actuate, but in the case of electrical, we need to adopt a gear system now to do our accurate task. And the electrical motor can also be used to actual linear joints, example telescopic arm, by means of pulley system or other transmission mechanism. And further, the economics of two types of drive system are also factored in the decision to utilize hydraulic drive on large robot and electrical robot on small robots. And the cost of the drive system plays a vital role, and based on that, we need to prefer the drive system. In turn out that the cast open electrical motor is much more proposed to its sizes, whereas the cost of the hydraulic drive system is somewhat less, depend on its size. And it should be noted that there is a trend in design of industrial robot towards all electrical drive and away from hydraulic robot because of the disadvantage discussed above. It should be avoided. And the choice of drive system is based on the following factors: that is basic needs we need to consider while selecting the drive system are the power consumption, positional accuracy, repeatability, operational speed, stability, and reliability. And the hydraulic drive system, an actuator, when hydraulic system is used to impart motion, is called hydraulic actuation. A system wherein energy is imparted to oil and its hydraulic system. So when we are using the hydraulic system, it might have some leakages in the pump or in the system. Then what happens? It may lead to an accident. and that has to be eliminated while designing the system. We should be very aware about the prevention of leakages and so on. And the oil and its hydraulic energy so import to the oil is converted in mechanical energy is called an hydraulic system. And see the system which has the reservoir. We have the oil filters. See here the oil is we have the pressure relief valve, hydraulic pump, and pressure indicator, shut off valve, and we have a piston to actuate hand control shift lever. Here we have the hand control shift lever and punch press, double acting cylinder, feed lines, and four-way valve. This is the four-way valve. And here see the reservoir and variable displacement pump, chuck valve, and the actuator reservoir, the directional control valve, double acting cylinder, and inertial load. This is the system, basic system, which consists of the hydraulic actuator component, and which consists of the hydraulic circuit. And please make a note of this particular system. It might be one of the very important question in this particular topic, that is hydraulic actuation component. Please make a detailed note about the working principle of or happenings of the hydraulic actuator components, and similarly hydraulic circuit. And through video you can have a please make a note of this content. And the advantage, as I said, easy to produce, transmit, store, regulate, and control, maintain, transform the hydraulic power, possible to generate high gain in force and power amplification, and hydraulic system are uniform and smooth, generate stepless motion and variable speed and force to greater accuracy, and limiting and balancing of hydraulic force are easily performed. And weight to power ratio of an hydraulic system is comparatively less than that for an electromechanical system. The maintenance is easy. Hydraulic system are cheaper if one consider the high efficiency of power transmission. The hydraulic is mechanically safe, compact, and adaptable to other form of powers, and can be easily controlled. And the distribution of hydraulic power is simpler and easier than other forms of energy. The frictional resistance is much less and hydraulic system as compared to the mechanical movement. And the disadvantage, as I already detailed about the disadvantage, the manufacturing cost of the system is high, since the hydraulic element have to be the machine to a high degree of precision. There are some various rubbing surfaces in the system. Therefore, it should have a higher accuracy, machining accuracy, and the hydraulic element have to be specially treated to protect them against rust, corrosion, dirt. And petroleum-based hydraulic oils may pose fire hazard, thus limiting the upper level of the working temperature. And the disadvantage continued, that is certain hydraulic system are exposed to unfriendly climate and dirty atmosphere, as in the case of mobile hydraulic, like dumpers and loaders seems very ugly. And that if if it has a proper maintenance, then it is preferable. And we need to conscious that it needs larger maintenance, and not readily available compared to the electrical power. And concerning the pneumatic drive, pneumatic actuator utilize pneumatic energy provided by a compressor or transforms it into mechanical energy by means of piston turbine and the pressurized air. And where in the case of hydraulic we are using oils, in the case of pneumatics, but you may be already aware, we are using the air as an working medium used to transmit and control power. And pneumatic actuators are the device that cause things to move by taking the advantage of potential energy. And the actuators in their conventional form or basically called a pneumomechanical device, and have been used to automate industrial tasks of iterative nature. The actuator has three components. One is cylinder, piston, and valve. The cylinder is a hollow chamber into which the external compressed air is allowed to enter, so it enables the piston moves, and the air enters through a hole usually called port, and a valve, which is considered as an actuator, controls the rate of flow of the air into the chamber. The valve is controlling the element. Valve is a controlling element that it is an electromechanical device, and the operation, the piston is rigidly attached to load and can slide inside the cylinder. Uh, Only two types of actuators, such as linear and angular type are manufactured. However, in some generalized sense, pneumatical actuators are classified into mechanical parameters such as number of ports and way the piston moves based on the number of port and piston movement. It generally classified, and the linear actuator converts the potential energy in the compressed air mechanical energy in terms of linear motion. The actuator consists of the piston cylinder. The air enters the actuator and pushes the piston from one end to another end. And see the system, that is a pneumatic actuator system, consists of various components, and I'll do in the tomorrow's class. I'll make a detailed note about that is working principle of these hydraulic and pneumatic system. Here in today's class, you may please aware about the various components in hydraulic as well as in the pneumatic system. Here we have water drain, electric motor, compressor unit, and air conditioning unit. That is, we have the filter, lubricator, and we have four-way control valve, and we have the adjustable flow control valve, and we have the pneumatic cylinder at the end. That is the piston located inside the cylinder, and it is actuated through the air pressure. And the line diagram is given at the bottom. And see the basic pneumatic circuit control of double acting cylinder, and this is the line diagram, and we have cylinder at the top, and load applied, the rod which consists of the rod. Here we have the valve, that is four-way two piston valve. Four-way, it has four-way two piston valve. Here it is we have the spring and push button, and we have for the pressure source. In tomorrow's class I'll make a detailed note about these hydraulic and pneumatic working principle, and I think so you are well aware about the various components which is in pneumatic and hydraulic system, and it has various advantage and disadvantage, and it is cheapest from all the actuators, relatively inexpensive, and it have faster speed, and do not pollute work area with fluids. The energy is used, common energy is used in industries. Air components are readily available in compressed air. Normally is an already existing facility in the factories, and the compressed air can be stored and conveyed easily over long distance. They have few moving parts, making them inherently reliable and reducing maintenance cost. And the compressed air is clean. The explosion proof and intensity to temperature fluctuation thus usual to many applications, and no mechanical transmission is usually required. And the system are usually compact. The control is simple. Mechanical stoppers necessarily has some transmission transmission system, and which in the case of pneumatic drives we doesn't have any mechanical components. Individual components can be easily interconnected. They have a very quick action and response time, thus allowing for fast work cycle. And similarly, it has some disadvantage, that is compressibility of air limit control and accuracy aspects, and noise pollution from exhaust leakage of the air can be a concern, and the transmission also we should be worried about the transmission line and all. The pneumatic are not suitable for moving heavy loads and precise control due to the compressibility of air. And the compressibility necessity, the application of more force than would normally be necessary to ensure that the actuator is firmly in position against its top under loading condition, and the moisture penetrate that the unit and ferrous metal have been used, then the damage of individual components will result in. And similarly, as the mechanical stops are used, then resetting the system become slow. Therefore, and these are the content related to the pneumatic and hydraulic system. In the tomorrow's lecture, I'll detail about the working principle, and that's all about today's presentation. And do you have any doubts with system drives control systems? Yes, it does. Again, you are going to ask about when you are uploading the content. I'll
Yes, sir. And also course plan also,
course.
sir.
Okay. Very soon we'll upload the course plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other queries? I think you once the meeting is over, give your presence. Give your present based on your I need to have your attention, whether you are attending or not. If you are present, then you give present to in the chat box. You give your presence. Okay. Thank you. Tomorrow 11:30 we'll meet.
Okay.